Yeah, I was just talking a little bit about different starseed origins and how different they are, and how you may have several starseed origins that will influence and affect your energy as you come into a human vessel on Earth. And some of us have a bit of an easier time of it, and some of us do not. And it's quite different. It's quite varying, isn't it?
Yeah, a
And I,
lot of people have a really difficult time here, and
mhm.
other people are like, "Oh, it's just not that bad."
I've been here
But
plenty of times. It's just
yeah,
it's a good time. It's a good ride. And I'm sure some people look at other people and say like, "How the heck are you having an easier time of it?" And I'm just feeling like I don't fit in here, and I don't want to be here. And I'm waving money in the air, hoping UFO will come pick me up, right?
yeah.
For example. So, this is a topic that I think is so important to be chatting about. And I think that it's so important to bring this to the forefront. It's so important to, it's really, I guess we could say, about diversity, isn't it? Because, we come to Earth and we see a lot of diversity with our physical three-dimensional reality with our eyes, which I think is an absolute beautiful thing. And who wants to have the same? Not me. No way. I love diversity. I absolutely love it. But then when we talk about diversity as far as energy is concerned, and bringing in this different vibrational frequency depending on where your soul has been in different forms on different planets, in physical or non-physical, and then you bring that vibrational frequency to Earth, and it really does make it's quite a different experience for different people. So, what are the differences between star seeds that you have noticed?
Or one thing I was just gonna say also, yeah, it depends on where you come from. I mean,
Mhm.
some people, you can have a lot of lifetimes here on Earth, but if you're from some crazy place or some totally different vessel or something, it doesn't matter how many times sometimes you've incarnated. It's still going to be difficult, or it's still going to be a lot different than the other person that's incarnated. For example, in a Palladian vessel or something, it might be a lot easier for them.
Yeah.
But what are some of the differences? There's a lot of differences. There's a lot of differences.
Yeah.
And that's why there's so much variety, like here
Yeah.
on Earth, between so many different types of people.
Yeah.
And that's one of the cool things about it, I think, is that everyone gets to have their own, stamp, their own blueprint here on Earth, bring their own energy or frequency here. It's kind of cool.
And I find that, like, if a person, if we want to say, if a soul goes and has predominant Pleiadian lifetimes, I've tended to notice that it seems a bit easier for them. If they get knocked down, they get right back up. It's not as difficult, or they are able to tap into, and bring to the forefront what they need. Whereas if you've had a vastly different lifetime experience that is vastly different than a human experience, and then you're here and you're dropped off, maybe you're not used to, as this vibrational frequency here, you're not used to the emotions, the at times chaotic experiences, and it's difficult to ground your energy in your vessel, because it's like kind of putting a round peg in a square hole, and at times you're so ungrounded and floating just outside your body. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, like I feel like a lot of people when they come to Earth, they kind of feel trapped in their vessel
Mm-hmm.
because do so many different things in these other vessels, whether they're Arcturian or whether they're blue avian. Sometimes if you're some of the vessels, they're able to like think with their thoughts and do so many different things, and they're so intelligent, and then
Empathic.
they come into this more limiting
Yep.
perspective here on
They
Earth, and
much
they
more.
kind of feel more trapped.
Yeah. And
And the
so,
same thing with in my case, that's what I felt like,
yeah,
almost trapped, and you almost feel like can't get comfortable in your own skin,
yeah.
in your own vessel. You want to jump out of your own skin because you're not even like
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
what the hell am I doing here? Type of thing. It's kind of
Your
cool.
experience is different than my experience depending on where we've been. So your experiences have been a lot of avian species. You have had a lot of blue avian, red avian. I remember when you, a long time ago, when we first had a conversation, the first thing I was seeing was blue avians looking me right in the face. And that was the first time I met the blue avians. And then I switched to red avians, and then I saw a lot of other different avian species, but you've had a lot of blue avian, whereas I've had predominantly Pleiadian. So when I came here, it was like, oh, I'm here for a good time, maybe too much time, if you know what I mean. Because I've really ramped things up to the point where, you know, I've hindered my physical vessel too many good times. But that's the whole point. You can turn things around too, right? And move in the path of, you know, loving your body and loving yourself a little bit more. But I remember being young and just flitting around and, oh, sweet, I'm on Earth again, and I'm going to enjoy food and laughter, and I'm going to have a good time. I've been here many times. I've been here so many times. This is like, you know, a lot different of an experience than your experience. And I know it's a lot different of an experience than a lot of people that have come to me for readings. You know, you know, it's interesting because we have these labels now, like ADD, ADHD, you know, hyperactive, unable to pay attention. You know, it's partially, I feel, with some individuals because their energy is just not conducive yet, or not feeling like it's fitting into this environment and this vessel as easily.
Yeah, I feel like for a lot of people, they come in with certain disabilities or certain different things, and
Mm-hmm.
in my
Or
case, it felt,
abilities.
yeah, or abilities. Yeah, you can see it in two different ways, but
Yeah.
I feel like some people come in with certain, like I came in like survival mode. Like I don't know how I'm gonna survive here on Earth. Like I didn't know how to be human.
Yeah.
I was confused about my sexuality. I was
Mhm.
confused about like being around people, and everyone's like, "Oh, why do you act different around these people, and why do you act totally different around these people?" Well, I had to adapt, like
Mhm.
almost like pretend to be human at first. That's how like crazy and different it was for me, and how like ungrounded I was. I didn't even know. So I just had to kind of like be a chameleon and adapt to be and assimilate into the society that you incarnate
Assimilate
into.
rather
Yeah,
than the way I went into it. And also, I think, in my opinion, what I'm noticing is those who are younger than myself are far more open energetically, picking up on the frequency of others much more easily, more empathic. I mean, we're all empathic, okay, to a degree. You know, but the younger generation is much more empathic than myself, I feel, which means then others' energies are influencing you know, where you're already ungrounded and trying to fit in, and then it's influencing you even more. It can be very difficult. It can be very challenging. Um, so here's another question. Why is it that a lot of people want to connect with star seeds or starseed family members? A lot of people may not know what a starseed family member or friend is. We didn't know up until about 4 years ago, myself and Ashley Cunningham. But what we started to find was that we were noticing starseed family members that we had incarnations with in the vessels that we had incarnated with on the planets or wherever we had been. And these souls were hanging out, assisting us here on Earth. So this energy may have played the mother, the sister, the friend in these other incarnations, say on a Pleiadian planet, and now is here assisting me with ascension, diet, awakening, you know, awakening further. And why is it that a lot of individuals, they want to connect with starseed family members, they want to connect with ETs, but they find that they can't?
well, most people feel like Earth isn't their home, so that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, I don't want to be like. With me growing up, it felt like I always knew I was from somewhere else. I was so different than everyone else. I was like, there's no way I can be. I don't even feel like these people. I don't feel like I'm at home here, And it feels like if you can connect with your starseed origins, you can connect with your home, or like where you came from.
It gives you a
And
broader
that's,
perspective.
that helps a lot.
Lot.
Knowing that you can connect with your starseed origins and just be more connected with your soul and yourself, because this is only a finite experience, an illusion here on Earth, or everywhere really. And once we connect with our soul, we get to connect with the grand scheme of things, of our whole consciousness. And I feel it helps kind of bring you more into the present moment sometimes. Some people might think, oh, why do you want to connect with all your past lives, all your past celestial lives?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it can actually help you be more present in your body, because if you find out what you've been, then you can say, oh, what do I need to work on? What do I need to work on being more in the present moment?
Do I
Like,
need
for
to make
example, me,
every day?
I've
Maybe
been blue avian or
yoga.
something. What do blue avians do really well at? Or what do you avian like beings do really well at? They do really well at being in the moment, being here right in the moment. And once I found that out, I was like, wow, this is me. This is me. And now I don't have to be like everyone else and just like worry about the future or the past all the time.
Or fitting
I can
in
just be
or
here.
being like
Yeah.
others. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
But
cool.
also while helping to manage your energy a little bit better so that maybe you're not as ungrounded. So grounding your energy out in nature, using yoga, using exercise, um,
Yeah.
letting this excess energy out if you feel like you have a lot of energy. And you got to think like where you've been, you may have been able to do many more cool, more advanced things, more expansive things, telepathic communication, healing, uh, you know, um, possibly space travel, and also just going from point A to point B very quickly using portals, etc. Being much more advanced. And then we're dropped here on, I say dropped, we chose to come here to Earth to learn and grow, but it's so different than where we've been. And so, the beautiful thing about this course that you and myself will be teaching coming up in the middle of May is how to make things easier on Earth, how to connect with our Starseed family members and friends that are here with us, and how to know what our top 3 Starseed origins are. And, if you've had more Lyran and you've had a few lifetimes over here as Arcturian, it will make a lot of sense when we have certain characteristics of being a Lyran that is more strongly predominant in your vessel, your energy, and the way you do things and the way you are. It'll just be a broader understanding. There's going to be
Yeah.
a lot more covered, of course, moving forward in this course. But I'm really excited. We also have Ashley Cunningham and Beth Odom joining us for this week-long course. It's only $155 for an entire week. And I'm going to be putting the links in the description box below and above. And you guys will be able to go to KristinDaviesMedium.com and check it out and just see the promo video there, and also be able to read up on more, okay? Just much more. Okay, so here's one thing that I channeled before we went live today, which is it's interesting because it was 5 years ago the angels told me that there would be many more angels coming and joining our spiritual team. And I thought, okay, well, that's cool. I saw a certain number with each person, which ranged from 3 to about 11. I didn't see much more than that. And of course, that's dependent if we're talking with them all the time, complaining all the time, or praying all the time. These are ways that we're bringing in more. But as time went on, sure enough, more angels came. It was like a lot more. So the next thing I'm hearing today is that we're going to have many more Starseed family members that we've had incarnations with in different vessels coming to assist us and help us here on Earth, which I think is friggin' tastic. So I'm super pumped about that. So why is it important? When we look at, I know that we've had this discussion before. If to learn who you truly are, a more of a broader perspective of, and it helps with the awakening process. Do we want to go into that a little bit more in detail? How much it helped you?
Yeah, I think it made things a lot more interesting for me. I was like,
Mhm.
wow, I get to learn about all these different ETs, and I think a lot of people. I think Connor the other day he was saying he awoken to his spiritual awakening from watching Ancient Aliens or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
just like learning something different, or you're looking at like ancient Egyptians or different things, and you're just seeing all these synchronicities, and oh, this is kind of weird. This is different. I really think that's a really cool part of awakening, and that really helped me. And I was like, that's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool also when I was learning about indigo children and the different life colors that are in our auric field, and how, just to give it a, oh, there's Connor. If anybody wants to see Connor's video of his awakening process, that is up on Lightworkers United, and you guys can come and check it out on YouTube. Lightworkers United is a channel that I've started with all different types of videos and content from light workers from all over the world, channeling, card readings, all sorts of topics being discussed. And I'll put that link in the description as well. I think it just gives a broader perspective, makes you understand, oh, this is why I don't necessarily always fit in, or, oh, this is why I'm fitting in and this is easier for me, which is more
Or
of my experience.
yeah, or it's like this is why I liked a certain thing. Like I used to play soccer growing up, and I just loved it so much.
Mhm.
I didn't know why, and then when I found out when I awakened that I'd been these avian-like beings, it almost felt like the thing I liked about soccer so much is that like running after the ball, it almost felt like I was
Ah,
flying. Yeah, it
yeah,
almost felt like I was
fine.
flying, and that's one thing I resonated with. And one of the other things is just being connected with your spirit family or
Mhm.
your starseed family. That's was really important to me. Just like feeling some energy that I really resonated with, and I was like, "Wow, that's me! I can't believe that's actually me. That's really cool. That
You know
I'm
what's so,
not just confined to this, this one
little
experience here
vessel.
on
That's
Earth."
it. That's all there is. There's nothing else.
It's like when we
There's
talk
much
to
more.
Jesus or something. He's like, "Oh, that was just one lifetime. That was one lifetime in
Yeah,
this
there's
grand
many,
scale."
many, many more. And there's many energies that are here helping us and assisting us. And it's going to be really cool to practice in this course and bring us in touch with the energy that is around us, that is assisting us, and that we can feel some familiarity and maybe a sense of home, maybe from another energy that is here with us. Because if we don't feel like this is home, I guarantee you 100% you've got backup and help from these starseed beings that are here with you, whether they're Arcturian. And you know what they say to me often is, uh, this is a fractal, okay? It's also a fractal, or a percentage of your energy is housed in this body. The entirety of your soul could not be housed in this body. That was the first thing I was told many years ago. Your body would not be able to make it with that amount of energy flooding through it. So we have likely a part of your soul group that has had incarnations with you, say as an Arcturian, for example, and then that fractal of that energy from your soul group member is here assisting you from that incarnation. And it's a beautiful thing when we can put people in touch with that energy. It's just wonderful. It's like a piece of home, because when you don't feel like this is home, and boy, I've got 3 Pleiadians with me, and it is wonderful. That to me feels so good in comparison to, where we are here on Earth, for example. It's just very helpful. Now, who doesn't want more help? um,
Yeah. Oh, I
how
feel like a
many?
lot of us come from like, higher vibrational frequencies or higher vibrational planets. And then when we come here, it can feel a little bit like a drag
Yeah,
sometimes. And you're
yeah.
just dragging yourself through life. And the good thing about connecting with your starseed family is they can help you cope in different ways. You don't have to,
Make
use
things way.
substances or things
Mhm.
like that. They can help you with certain things with your diet, with doing certain grounding techniques like yoga or different things. It's kind of cool.
And I think that that's a healthier way to go about things, because I think many here, including myself, know that you can cope with certain substances for a time, and then at some point it's not going to be serving you. It's just not. And the higher we raise our frequency, the easier it is going to be for us to connect and feel these starseed energies anyways. And that's what they would love for us to do, is to raise our frequency and connect. How many different ET energies are there? Like, how many different ETs are there in general?
Well, there's definitely infinite. I think a lot of us know that, and even like with blue avians, there's just in different avian like beings. There's just so many different types, and so people try to pinhole certain things in certain ways, but there's just so many different types. So it's not like we can understand it all. If you
No.
tried to understand it all, you would be just overwhelmed. You would be so.
It's interesting because they'll come in very slowly when I haven't seen one, like what I'm looking at when it comes in during a reading. They don't want to alarm me or startle me, which I really appreciate. Or sometimes they don't show me what they look like at all. And I can feel, okay, it's this being, and I've got the guardian angels and I've got this energy, but it's just not important to show me what its form is like. Why do star seeds incarnate on Earth? And who is a star seed? First of all, who's a star seed?
Well, Starseed is someone.
Everybody. If
someone.
you're incarnating on Earth, that's also a star seed origin, by the way.
Yeah, someone asked, "Are you a starseed if you just come straight from source to Earth?" I was like, technically, you could see it that way, but I think generally most starseeds are considered people who are incarnated somewhere else, and then they incarnate here on Earth.
Yeah, yeah.
So and then they starseed here to Earth.
Right, right, right.
So that's what a lot of people think about that. And what was the other thing that you asked?
One thing I was going to say is, out of all the readings I've had, I've never met someone who is only incarnated on Earth. Not once.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of times that I've never seen it yet.
Oh yeah, why we chose to come here, that was the other question.
Yep. And so, yeah, that's a good question, is why do starseeds choose to come to Earth?
Well, we all come for different reasons, don't we?
Yep. Some come for the good time and the good ride, and some of us come to learn and grow, and to.
That's gonna be a big part. That's gonna be a big part of this part of the course that we're gonna do coming up, is learning why you actually came here, and what's the reason of you actually coming here. Because everyone has a different reason, and everyone gets to experience that themselves. Oh, why did I actually come here? That's why I'm going to do a meditation coming up, and you get to, feel the feelings that you felt before you incarnated here, and I think that's going to be really cool. But I would say with my soul, the reason I came here, well, I think my soul felt pretty stagnant and doing the same thing, really comfortable. It just loved incarnating in these avian bird beings flying around all the time, and so it was just so comfortable doing those lifetimes. You just kept doing it, and then when I came here, it's a really big step out of my comfort zone. So
big step.
Also knowing that, knowing why I actually came here, and actually helped me realize the way I am now. I just kind of hang back sometimes, and I'm kind of stagnant almost here on Earth. So realizing that, I was like, oh, if I'm kind of stagnant like this, I need to get up off my butt and just start doing things to get out of my comfort zone, or I'm just gonna stay in my comfort zone. I'm so comfortable. It's kind of cool.
Okay. I think the whole point is to help others feel more comfortable moving forward on Earth, and to make things easier, and to know that you're not alone, and to connect you with your team, to be able to help you do that. Here's a question, Paul. If, we have, because I know you're coming from this perspective. Myra's saying that her 12-year-old son is a star seed, and how can she help him out? So when you were growing up, what was the best guidance that you could give her as to how someone helped you out?
Well, I would say being grounded is like the number one top priority for most
Yeah.
kids that are star seeds, because a lot of times they have disabilities or ADHD or very sensitive and empathic, and they need a grounded individual in their life, whether
Mhm.
on both sides, on the father and the mother, or just have a father figure or some people that are like really grounded and that can just like anchor that energy down within them.
Yeah.
And also taking them out in nature would be good, and just spending time with them
Exercise.
is great. Exercise helped me a lot,
Yeah.
but sometimes you're just in a location where it's just not that great.
Yeah.
Like I was in a location in Alabama where it was just not very good,
Hmm.
and sometimes it's best just to go to more high vibrational locations. I think that helps
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of kids. But I'd say the number one main one is always the parents. If the kid is acting up a lot or something, that it's either because they're really ungrounded or they're just really from somewhere else, and they just need more grounded energy in their
Hmm.
life. That's
Stable,
one really
grounded.
important thing.
I noticed the same thing where I moved from in comparison to where I am now. Whew, what a difference in frequency. So much easier, so much better for me. Oh my goodness. Like the location where you're living, the people that you're around is hugely important, because if you're open and sensitive, and it's so crucial as to who you're around, who you're spending time with, and the land where you're living, right? It's so important. Yeah.
Also, one of the things that helps with that is when you help ground your kids or are a more grounded person and they're really empathic, they take after you.
Mhm.
So when so a lot of times people want to medicate, ADHD kids or ADD kids with all this medication, and they're just hyped up on those Adderall or whatever. And sometimes that's not the best thing to do. I felt like for me, I didn't think that was good for me to
Mhm.
be medicated like that. So just to be able to go to school or something. So that's one thing that helped me, was not even going to school, just being homeschooled,
Yeah.
or finding some different kind of school. I had to try out like a bunch of different schools because I was so empathic that when I would go to some of these schools, I just couldn't take it. I was so depressed. I didn't want to live there, live anymore, basically.
But basically, you've really come through the gamut, and you've come full circle. I feel like you've really shifted things as you've moved into your. Now you're coming into close to your mid 20s now, and things have shifted and changed a lot. I've noticed. I think so, and things are much easier because you've gotten the answers and you've got a broader perspective. And I think it's really important for us to connect with each other online and in person. But that's another reason I feel like we're going to do this Starseed Experience course, because we'd like to bring everyone together and connect with each other, and to feel like there's other people that get it, and that you're not sitting here all alone and nobody understands you and nobody gets you. I think that's so important, that you're not going to go for years down the road. And you've had this experience where you've been, feeling like, okay, people, they're not quite like me. I'm not quite fitting in here. And I get the chameleon part that you've said too, because growing up, I've done a little bit of that myself, like just observing what other people do. I think we all do, but I think as a starseed, it's like maybe hunkering down and hiding away is easier than getting out there in front of other people. But when we're online, we can connect with each other. We can feel comfort in knowing that there's others like us, and I think that's really, really important.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when you're growing up, you don't feel uh, connected to everyone around you, or you don't feel like you fit in. And then when you awaken, then you really feel like you don't fit in
Yeah, yeah.
again.
Ooh,
And it's
on a
like,
whole other level.
but at least when you awaken, you get to know more of who you are, and
Mhm.
that makes it doesn't really matter if you fit in as much.
No.
And that's like I think the cool thing about the spiritual community, everyone's so different, and then we all get to connect with each other and stuff like that.
Others' opinions of me are none of my business. That's a beautiful thing to remind yourself of, because you're going to do you, and your light, doing it your way, is so greatly needed on this earth. You can't even imagine, because there's going to be so many other people that are going to watch you and observe you and say, oh my God, I'm like this too. And this person's comfortable just being them. And you'll influence others to be comfortable in just being themselves too. And that's so, so greatly needed. So, so needed. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of my friends back home, they'll say certain things I do are kind of, weird or, cringy or something. Like I just started a TikTok recently and it's totally, they're like, "Oh my God, that's so weird" and stuff. But now I just don't care at this point. It's just like it's just fun for me. If it's fun for me, I'm gonna do it, and it feels good, I'm gonna do it. So
TikTok's about having fun and then learning stuff real in a quick timeline, quick space. But you know, it's so important to follow your intuition and your internal guidance system and just go and do what you feel like you want to do.
hmm
But you don't want to get to the end of this and be like, I wish I'd done more.
yeah, or you don't want to get to the end of this worrying about what other people think about you, and
No,
well, I'm not gonna do that. I think people think that might be a little bit weird or something, you know.
it's one long ride if you keep caring what other people think of you. I say let your light shine brightly, let your whatever side of yourself come out and just be who you need and want to be. And I think that that's really important. You guys see me goofing off and joking all the time when I'm on camera. If I cared about what other people thought of me all the time, I wouldn't be able to do that. And I wouldn't be able to, like, there's times where I watch myself back and I'm like, oh my God, that was so funny. I can't believe I said that or I did that. So I get a double dose of my own humor or goofiness. And I think that that's really important to be that way in the world. So, is there any guidance that Spirit would like to channel through you in regards to this topic? And I'm just going to see who would like to come through me as well and chat about this topic.
Okay.
Well, I've got the Pleiadians. No big shocker there. Yes, Connor, be comfortable with making people feel uncomfortable. Be comfortable with people thinking you're weird. Yeah, love it.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like I have the blue avians here, and they really want to talk about this. Like they like this topic. I think they want to talk about like why not do it this way? Why are
Yeah.
we trying to fit in like that and stuff? I think they're just pointing out different things in terms of the reasons why we care about what other people think, and most of the time that comes from ego or like insecurity. I feel them saying it's just really important to embrace who we are because that's all we have. That's a lot of what we have here. Uh, they're saying that's a big part of awakening. That's a big part of being connected to who you are. You need to embrace who you are, and that in turn expands your consciousness. It raises your vibrational frequency a lot.
And impacts everybody around you and shows
hmm
them that they can be who they want to be too. So important.
They say, us two, we've had certain experiences where we both of us have been indigo life colors. So
Mm-hmm.
that's helped us, not care about what other people think, but not everyone else has those characteristics. But they're saying chances are you're going to be different if you're awakened here on Earth. You're going to be different than most people. So
Yeah.
you
Guess
might as,
what? I
it's
can't
almost like,
hide no more.
it's almost like you might as well embrace who you are. You might as well just step out and be yourself because people are going to see you either way. People are going to
Yeah.
see you.
Hmm.
And the last little message I hear them saying is the new earth is about like acceptance, and it's about accepting everyone around us, and the judgment, all the judgment and everything. It's not there on the new earth. So if we might as well just go ahead and send in that certain belief system and be there.
And the message from the Pleiadians is they want us to go forth. They're talking about the righteous path. I remember they like, what does that mean? So the righteous path, when they say that, means the right path for you. Okay. So what's right for you might not be right for your parents. It might not be right for your siblings. It might not be right for your friends, but it's right for you. And that's what matters most. So they want us to go forward, step forward, and just walk that path and be who we are meant to be, not who we are told to be or who we are expected to be by others, or how others want us to be, or how we think others want us to be. And that's really important moving forward. They're saying whether you want to connect with other light workers or other starseeds on the planet or not, step forward and shine your light brightly and be who you want to be, irregardless of what others think. Because they're saying chances are, or more times out of 9 times out of 10, let's use that scenario as the wording that they're using, you'll find that other people, they might roll their eyes, they might have a certain thing to say or a chuckle, but you're going to broaden their horizons to be authentic too. And that's what we need moving forward on Earth more now than ever, is authenticity. Okay, beautiful.
And I even feel a lot of people in the spiritual community, they're judging others. Oh, their certain belief systems or the way that they talk about extraterrestrials or the way they channel is not different. It's different in a way. And I just don't like focusing there because it drops your frequency when you say, oh, is that fake spirituality or this or that? It's just not important. Like these negatively judging others like that, so, and bringing people down.
One thing I would say is important is, sitting with stillness and a quiet mind, and then seeing if the information that you are watching through a YouTube video or a movie or a TV screen or wherever you're watching, does it resonate with you or does it not? Because if you get a tightness in your chest and stomach and it doesn't resonate with you, you might just not be ready for that at this time, or it's just not. It's not an energy, or it's not conducive for what you need right now. I don't go into a whole lot of as why something doesn't resonate with me. I don't go, why is that? I just go, okay, and I just move my attention off of it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that necessarily that energy is wrong or that it's just really bad. It's just different sometimes, and
Or
sometimes just using your discernment. Yeah,
maybe it's just not a vibrational match right now
Yeah.
in your life. Maybe it's just not, okay, that's just not needed right now. I don't need to go down that that rabbit hole about the reptilians and the Anunnaki so if you get a pull back, tightness in your body, your team's saying, you know what, we don't need to focus here right now. That's it. But
And
if
that's
it's
one of the things we're going to work on in the course, just like using discernment within yourself. And then when you're an undergrounded starseed, you are going to go down these rabbit holes. Because you're going to be so curious.
Want to jump down the rabbit hole? Well, no, wait, I'm going first. I find, it can be something else. There's a whole lot of flight going on in the spiritual communities with a lot of starseeds. Number one, maybe getting entrenched in their belief systems, and anything outside of that is not going to be accurate or don't want to hear it. Number two, going down rabbit holes that take them down certain paths that drop their frequency and maybe isn't necessarily good for them, but it's exciting. So that's all that matters. So I think what we're going to be teaching in this course is more of managing our energy, also focusing on things that are going to lift and raise our frequency and be beneficial for us rather than just exciting. All right, let's get ready to rumble. Maze, I'm ready. I'm so excited about this. This is my
I've always wanted to do something like this,
totally.
like, ever since I've awakened. And,
you more than me even. I think you're ready for this. You've been your whole life has prepared you for this. Whereas with me, I'm excited. I have not taught a Starseed course before. I've helped Ashley Cunningham with her courses. This is going to be quite different, and I'm really excited about it. And I can't wait to go on this ride with everybody. So, you guys have a great Saturday. And here's a little bit of a dusting on information about starseeds moving forward. Let's get ready to rumble. Thanks, Paul, for joining me. Can't
Yeah,
wait to do this course together, and I'm super pumped.
yeah, me too. Thanks for joining me as well. This was really fun. Bye,
Goodbye,
everyone.
everyone. Bye.